Living unconsciously is to be lived by external circumstances. You live like a robot, driven by the outside world. On a soul level, this is necessary to bring the unconscious to the surface. We're here to outgrow karma, to outgrow the darkness, so our light can shine, because we are the light. We don't have to create it. We are the light. We only have to bring it to the surface. So on this earth, you will attract situations that bring the darkness to the surface for the light to be brought to the surface. There's a contradiction here, but everything in this universe is upside down. Left is right, right is left. We just have to find the neutral point within ourselves, within the balance between right and wrong, right doing and wrong doing. But eventually, there is no right or wrong, because it's all necessary to bring out the light that you are. There is no judgment. So living unconsciously, lived by external circumstances, will bring a lot of hurt and pain and a lot of knives in your back, or bullets, whatever you want to call it. I'm adding a picture with to love me is to, no, to shoot me is to love me. So I'm talking about bullets here. But okay, you can also call it knives, like stabbing a knife in someone's back. We all do it. It has been done to us. We've done it to others. It's what comes with being human, that is unconscious of the soul being that you really are. So eventually, when your back is full of knives, somewhere there has to become a point of awakening, like, okay, what the fuck? What's my contribution to this? Because you cannot live your life pointing fingers at others all your life. There are people who do that, but they're not very happy. And eventually they have to die and go through the whole charade, the whole circus again. But the moment you realize that when you're pointing one finger to someone else, there are three fingers pointing back. So there's inner work to do in the material world, the subconscious world, and the conscious world. So eventually, when you realize your position in the situation and you start working on the hurt and the pain that is triggered by the knife that has been put in your back, or the bullet that has been shot in your back or through you, there are different stages and levels on pain and hurt and trauma and la 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 la. But as you stop pointing your fingers and stay within, or look within and look at the pain, and you're going to peel off all those layers, and you will find the center of the pain, where it comes from, your childhood, maybe past life memories, you name it. Once you start looking at that, you start your healing process. And the trauma, the gap that has been created by the external world, becomes a gap that was already there within you, that needed healing, that needed to be heard. And the moment you're able to pull those knives out, throw those bullets away, or maybe keep them like a nice souvenir, memories. Oh, nice, look at all those bullets, all those knives. Oh my God, I'm a warrior. From that point, you're able to fill all those wounds with light. You don't have to do it consciously, because it is what happens when you take out your bullets and heal. The light will rise up because it is the light that you are. So with every conscious step in healing your traumas and your wounds that were inflicted by the external world, but only because the external world mirrors out what has to be brought to the surface within you. From that moment, you create the space for the light to become real. Eventually, you will always attract situations in the external world, because we are here being human. We have our emotions, we have our coping mechanisms, and as we walk through, even if we're whole and living life from the heart and living our light, we will always attract situations that will trigger those wounds, even though they're healed. The difference then is that you realize it has been created for you to rise a step further, to rise above it, to look at these situations from the perspective of love. Because when you are the light, you can understand that what comes to you from the external world are just the shadows and the pain and the traumas of others that are awakened in them by meeting your light. Like the sun shines on us and creates a shadow, once you've healed your own trauma, you become the sun. And when you shine on others who are not aligned with their inner sun yet, you will bring their shadows to the surface for those people to find the wounds and the knives in their back, so they can take it out, take the darkness out, so their light can rise to the surface and they can become the light of their being that they are. So standing in your own light and people throwing their shadow at you will at that moment not cause trauma, even though it triggers your wounds or your past mistakes or whatever. But because you're healed, you will only see where the other person needs healing too. And then a true connection is made and unconditional love can be, because you know it's not about you. It's not about your healing process anymore. It's about the other person who also has the right to reclaim their birthright, to become the light that they are. You will see that the shadow projected on you, feeling like another knife in your back, is just unconditional love, calling out, reaching out. It is transformation occurring through your being, through the light and the sun that you are and have become. So every shot, every backstep becomes a hug, a cuddle of unconditional love and light. And you can stand aligned and walk through your life and be the light that you are. To shoot me is to love me. So even if you find yourself in a place that you hurt other people and you're aware of it, like, why? Why am I not being my authentic self, not expressing my authentic self, not saying what I want to say, not acting accordingly to what I feel. So there's no congruent acting, living, being, congruent in body, mind, and soul. If you find yourself at that place, instead of putting a knife in your own back because of it, it is time to take a step back, to go within again, to dive deeper, and to bring out the light that somehow got pushed away, that got blocked, that was being suffocated by fear, by doubt, by translating things through pain, through the darkness, and see that it's only unconditional love finding its way back to you through a stab in your back. So there is no pain, there is no backstabbing, there is no shooting, there are no bullets. It all becomes love, messages of love, cries for love, actions out of love, because there is nothing else than unconditional love finding its way out, back to the truth of what it always was and always has been. And it is time to come into that understanding, so we learn how to deal with our emotions, how to translate our emotions, and how to use our emotions, all in the name of love and unconditional love. And you can also shoot selfies out of love, out of self-love, in acceptance of the expression of source that you are, with all your flaws, all your mistakes, all your judgments that you've placed upon yourself, to be proud of the expression that you are, to love the expression of your being and what you are, because you are source energy embodied in this world. That's it. Namaste.